223 time. I'm going to have some fun with my Tikka. Brand new brass, brand new style of projectile for me for the 223. Now I'm very familiar with this type of projectile in my 308, but not in a 223. It's the HPBT match, but it's in a 77 grain. Now the highest I've ever run in my rifle in the Tikka, in the 223, is a 62 grain. And I think it did okay. But then I just started doing some research about flight time and stuff, and you know how much it can get pushed around by wind, and in all the stats and all the graphs that I told you that you can look up in your rifle, it says that my 1 in 8 barrel should be able to push the 77 grain up to 80 grain. So I went down a little bit to 77, and there's a lot less drop at 2 and 3 and 400 yards, and it's less affected by wind. Now, the whole thing is with this, I'm in the dark. So, and what I mean by that is I have no idea where to start my powder. So I'm going to do what's called the ladder system. I'm going to make 3 rounds of 2 to 3 grain, 0.03 grain difference. And I will see at what point those bullets close up and at what where they spread open. And then once I have that data, I'll be able to refine it a little bit better. So it's another way of doing it. Also, a big difference of what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the lands. So we're going to talk about that in depth. I'm going to show you how you find the lands on your rifle and how far back you should seat it from there to start with. So it's going to be an interesting one. Let's get this brass put through the mandrel and then get some primers in it. One of the annoying things about the little Lee challenge press is that you can't buy a kicker for it, which means that you have to manually remove all the shells as you put them in. So I thought, why can't it have a kicker? I made my own, a little kicker. So all I have to do is put the shell in. As I've mandrelled it, it kicks the shell out. You know what? This is so much faster. Now, one thing I'll warn you though, it's a very intricate design, and it's not many will be up to the task to be able to do this. So let me show you what I've done. Now I am joking about an intricate design because all it is, I've clamped a zip tie to the table that rests up here on the ram. So if I come up, it goes past it. It allows me to pull a shell in comfortably. I put it through my mandrel or whatever. And as I come down, it kicks it off into the bucket. How good's that? The world's cheapest kicker, and it works beautifully. So switching now from the 308 to the 223, we have to alter our equipment a little bit, mainly because the 223 runs a small primer and the 308 runs a large primer. Now, not to be confused with the 308 Palmer, because the 308 Palmer runs a small primer, but mine aren't. They are the large primer. So what I need to do is pull back on this spring here, and I remove my collar. Now, this feeder is for large primer, so we're going to put that back here, and we're going to sit our small one for a small primer. We're going to put the collar away, and we're going to get our 223 collar, which is a number 4, which you'll see I've got 1 dot. And I have 2 dots on 308 and 3 dots on 300, which are my 3 calibers that I run. So that's just an easy identifier for me. And it's as simple as that. That's set up now for 223. Nothing hard at all. Now with my small rifle primers, I was very lucky to pick up some of these German rolled primers, which were even used by our military. They're an amazing primer. So let's get them inside here and let's prime some brass. I'm going to need all these and some more, so might as well pop them in from now. So we're going to do the shape game without dropping primers, Eric, without dropping primers. And you're almost there. 2 more to go. Come on, flip. There we go. And they've all flipped over. Look at that. And close it. First stage lock only. Oh, it's gone to second stage. Typical. That's a first stage lock, so no primers can come out. We'll sit it on there. Then we open it up completely. They'll drop down, and by flicking that, you will see that a primer has come through into here, and that's where we're going to sit our case. So put it now, rubbish out of the way. Put the first one in, and perfect. Look at that, perfectly seated. Nice. So our 223 brass has now got primers. It's been run through the mandrel. Obviously that was done first. So now I've just got to work out what powder I'm going to run. So I'm going to go to the Bible and study it a little bit. Then I'll come back to you with an answer.